Donald Trump's first State of the Union address made no mention of the catastrophic threat of climate change. The following evening, a group led by 350.org gathered in the nation's capital to offer a rebuttal and demand action on the climate crisis. They called it the Climate State of the Union.
2017 was the second hottest year on record, behind only 2016. And 17 of the 18 hottest years have occurred since 2001. Yes, Mr. Trump, climate change is real.
They celebrated their wins from Portland, Oregon.
We stopped a large fossil fuel export terminal from being built. We got our city to divest from fossil fuels. We removed climate change denial from our public school textbooks. We got our city to pass the nation's most comprehensive ban on new fossil fuel infrastructure.
To the University of Massachusetts.
So in June 2016, my university divested from fossil fuels after a 2-week-long epic escalation.
And across the country.
The resistance is rising. Communities are reclaiming our rights. Sanctuary churches, cities, and campuses are springing up all over the country.
They also assessed the challenges ahead.
We know that 76,000 coal miners have died of black lung disease since 1968. We are the people paying the price for this nation's addiction to fossil fuels. We know families in Houston, Texas, in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Immokalee, Florida, who are still displaced after hurricanes Harvey, Maria, and Irma, storms likely strengthened by fossil fuel climate change. We know women like Deneen, who still has nightmares after being sexually assaulted in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
If we rebuild in harmony with our island's ecosystems, we have everything we need to feed ourselves, generate our own power, and take care of each other.
Not only in fighting climate change.
It is absolutely imperative and a life and death issue that we have got to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to sustainable energy.
But also in the fight for social and economic change.
So look, I'm out here, I'm fighting a pipeline, right? And at the same time, I'm trying to ask people to fight this pipeline while their families are being deported or while they're not having health care. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we can't fight this singly anymore. I mean, we have to bring all these issues together and fight for that just transition and what it is that we want to see.
Because as many noted, those hurt first and worst by climate change and environmental degradation are often those who are already struggling.
For those who are watching who may not know, that Erica Garner's father was killed by the New York Police Department in an illegal chokehold. I mean, you saw him, his last words were, I can't breathe. And Erica sprung up. What's the connection with the climate, though, is that even if he hadn't been choked, regarding the pollution and his borough had an F for air quality, is that Eric Garner and all his children had asthma. And so even for him, and then when Erica died, she had an asthma attack, which then created a heart attack, which put her in a coma when she died at 27 just 1 month ago.
The undocumented community saw the injustices after the take of Hurricane Harvey in Houston. Like I said, we are the last ones to get any food on our shelters. We were the last ones to get any sort of financial aid. Some are still have not received that financial aid.
They called on politicians to come into the communities around them.
If you're not out in your community, if you're an elected official and you're not out in the community that you're serving, then you're not helping your community, and you honestly don't deserve to be there, right?
If it's not renewable, owned by the people and for the people, we don't want it.
And use funds to help the people most affected by climate change, not corporations.
I think it should have, the money that is being brought onto, for example, Houston, it should be implemented directly to the families, not to restoration of petrochemical plants.
You could say that some of our leaders in Washington and around the country have a really bad Coke problem. Now, not that kind of Coke problem, that kind of Coke problem.
But some noted that despite so many people in power refusing to act,
there's not going to be a carbon tax coming from the Trump administration anytime soon, but as Naomi Klein said once upon a time, we can impose a de facto carbon tax with our resistance.
The work must go on.
I'm just not letting all those, government institutions really give me the direction of where my work should go.
For The Real News, Dharna Noor, Washington.